Hi, I'm Mark Stroll, and I'm here to tell you about the Sunseeker by Forest River. An unbelievable product, and it's actually the #1 selling Class C in the country. And there's a ton of features that I want to tell you about, so I'm just going to jump right in. Number one is it has a fiberglass front cap. Most Class Cs do not. It's actually just not available. It's not an option. This actually covers all of the seams in the front of your Class C, so it just makes it for a much more durable, it's just more durable and longer lasting. In fact, actually, I'm sure you've seen a lot of the older Class Cs that this is the area where they would get leaks, and it's because they didn't have a front cap. So a lot of them that are out there, like for example the Coachman Freelander, it's just actually not an option. So this is something that you really want to take a look at. Make sure if you're considering a Class C, you really want to make sure it has a fiberglass front cap, and the Sunseeker actually has it, and it's standard. So kind of neat. Also, in addition to that, the Sunseeker by Forest River has a fiberglass roof. Super big feature here. It is one of the best advantages of the Sunseeker because it just makes it that much more durable. An awful lot of Class Cs out of the market, in fact, actually most of them have a rubber roof. This is a fiberglass roof, so it's thicker, it's more durable, less likely to tear. A lot of people don't get to their campgrounds until late at night. If by chance maybe you had a branch, it's possible that it could tear a rubber roof. This is a fiberglass roof, and it's very similar to like your $500,000 buses or your bigger RVs have a fiberglass roof, and the Sunseeker has that. So it's on the E450 chassis, Michelin tires. It's actually a really big deal. Not only does it ride on the best quality tires you can buy, Consumer Reports every month or every couple of months does a report on quality of tires, and Michelin always consistently ranks top in every category, whether it's an RV, a tractor trailer, a car, anything, a regular trailer. Michelin, best tires you can get. Not only does it ride on Michelin's all the way around, it has a Michelin spare tire, a rim, and a carrier as a standard feature. I don't know that there's any other Class Cs that give you a free spare tire and carrier and rim, and I'll show you some more about that in a minute. The most class out of all the Class Cs that were sold last year, the majority of them were Sunseekers. It's because of the pricing and because of its value. It has so many extra features on there, and also the pricing is on average about $10,000 less than most of them out there. So absolutely one of the best Class Cs that we've ever carried. It's because of its pricing, it's because of its value, and it just has all these extra things. So the sidewalls are actually a smooth, slick gel coat. Super easy to clean, and they just kind of hold up over time, and it always keeps that nice, bright white color. So when it comes to resale value, the Sunseeker is really going to give you that little extra push that you'd want. It's just going to look much brighter sitting on the either in your campground or when you go to sell it, having that gel coat. So big deal. Electric awning is standard, so just to kind of go over some of the little extra things that come with the Sunseeker, and it's super important to remember this, is the fiberglass roof, the fiberglass front cap, electric awning, and gel-coated exterior sidewalls. The reason why I'm pointing these things out is because the majority of Class Cs out there don't have any of these features. So not only is the Sunseeker a value with regards to its price point, but it just has all this extra stuff at no charge, so pretty big deal. That also, part of the standard features with any Ford chassis is going to be, it's just going to have springs. It's going to ride on springs. This actually comes with a Firestone ride right system, so it actually has 2 airbags in the back. You can actually adjust the ride sensitivity on this Class C. Like, we've actually had customers from Alaska say this is one of the greatest features any Class C could have is an adjustable airbag system in the back, because whether you're on a rough road in Alaska or you're on a smooth road in New York. Just to kind of head in this back area here, I just wanted to point out a few things. With every Sunseeker, I think except one model, maybe 2, a spare table comes with it. So it actually rests right inside there. You can take this right out. You can kind of use it underneath your awning. Just makes it easier. Just have one extra table, and has a great storage area right in there. If you notice in the storage area in all Sunseekers, it's built to that ABS material, and you can actually hose it out, which is a really big deal. So a ton of storage, another really good value with the Sunseeker. if you notice up top here, our slide topper awnings are actually standard on the Sunseeker. So to get all this stuff for no charge, like slide topper awnings, electric awning, fiberglass roof, fiberglass front cap, all of these features you're not paying for, and that's why the Sunseeker is the #1 selling Class C in the country. Do you think that most back ends of Class C's they're all the same? This is actually a bit different than most. Spare tire, carrier, and rim are standard features. The big deal here is that it's actually a Michelin spare tire and carrier. Imagine being on a trip far from home and getting a flat tire at midnight. Without a spare tire that comes with your Class C, you're basically on the side of the road possibly till the next day. This could be a trip saver. Michelin spare tire, rim, and carrier, the dollar value alone is probably somewhere in the $900 retail amount, but the value when you could save a day or two extra camping by not being on the side of the road, it's priceless. So that actually comes with the Sunseeker. A lot of other brands just not going to see it. So window, standard feature. Spare tire, standard. A hitch, Class 3 hitch is standard. So many of these Class C's out there now are either not coming with a hitch or putting a Class 2 on there. This is a Class 3 hitch, standard feature. Also, a ladder is standard. That storage area, as I showed you on the other side, is just the same over here. Again, that ABS type of material makes it super easy to clean out, and there's actually a drain for it as well, so you could technically take a hose to it and just hose it right out. Awful lot of Class C's just use some sort of carpet material or even a metal storage area. This is more durable, easier to clean, and longer lasting, so I think that you'll find that this is one of the another main reason why as I mentioned before, the Sunseeker is the #1 selling Class C out there. If you're going to choose to purchase a Class C, really take a look at some of these features and to say, okay, does the Class C that I'm looking at actually have some of these features? Like, you know, we had mentioned the fiberglass roof. Does what I'm looking at have a fiberglass roof? Or does it have gel-coated sidewalls? Does it have a spare tire? These are all the things that make the Sunseeker what it is today. So it's really important to take a look at, you know, go through the video again and say, okay, is what I'm looking at have all these features? If you can get a shot of this over here, this is a really big deal. This is that Firestone Ride Right system. This Class C actually comes standard with 2 airbags, so you can actually stiffen or soften the ride. You can add up to 100 PSI each side. So again, you have 2 airbags that actually sit right above your springs, so you can actually adjust the ride sensitivity on this Class C, and that's absolutely amazing, and that's standard with all Sunseekers. So that's actually a pretty big deal, and that system is actually built by Firestone, so it has a brand name with it, and it really does wonders for you know, depending on what type of environment you're in, you can really soften the load or make it a stiffer ride just by adjusting those airbags. So it actually comes equipped standard with an airbag system, which is absolutely amazing. I haven't seen, there are maybe 1 or 2 other Class C's out there with it, but I know some of the other ones, like we talked about earlier, the Coachman, for example, just doesn't have that. So kind of a neat feature. Here's a great area to look here. That slide topper awning is standard, so that is not something you have to pay for. So pretty neat. Our mirrors on our Sunseeker are heated and remote. There are other Class C's out there that's just not available. That doesn't come with it. So this is a heated and remote controlled mirror, and you can adjust that from right inside. We also use a metal running board. The great thing about those running boards is that they're always going to look uniform, and they're nice looking. A lot of them use a different type of fiberglass, which is actually a different color than this, different color than this, and a different color here. So they just look different. You know, when you have a white fiberglass running board, you have almost 3 different colors of white here, just a very awkward look. This is a metal running board, and it's very, very durable, nice high-end look. Again, those Michelin tires are standard with all the Sunseekers. It's a really big deal. Okay, I'm excited to show you a lot of the features about the Sunseeker on the interior here, and it really is a pretty big deal. There's actually no motorized step. It's an integrated step well. So you have one less moving part. You know, a lot of older style motorhomes, you end up seeing these steps that are kind of broken down and rusted and don't quite work. This has integrated step well, easier to get in and out, and less moving parts. So they do away with that motorized step, which has always become a problem. You have an integrated step, makes it super, super easy to get in and out. The interior of our Sunseekers, and this is a major reason why it's actually the best-selling Class C in the country right now. 7-foot interior height. The height on this is incredible. It's about 5 or 6 inches taller than most Class Cs out there, so it's actually a super big deal. This area here, I really want to take the time to kind of explain it to you because it's different than most Class Cs. In most Class Cs, what you're going to get up in this area is just a bed, and that's it. The Sunseeker does it a little different. Number one thing is that it actually comes with a ladder. You would think that most of them have that, but they really don't. You know, Class Cs just typically don't come with a ladder to get into your bunk area. Not only is this a ladder, but it's actually a very durable metal ladder. And just to kind of show you a couple of things, in fact, you know what I'll do is I'll just get right up here and kind of show you. This is, it's more of like a loft area. And the reason why I say that is because you have a TV there. You have windows on both sides, actually, so you have a really good cross ventilation. I know that some of the other brands out there, there's really just only one window or no windows. In addition to that, you actually have cup holders up here. So and you also have an outlet up here too. So you kind of have these storage areas too that are kind of on incline, which really makes it for like a living room area up here. And you have a place to put your drinks, storage area. I like to refer to this as like a loft because it really is. There's a place to relax, a place to plug in your iPod or plug in your anything you wanted. There's also cup holders, and you also have a ladder, which is a really big deal. In the living room area here, this is also super unique. All of the Forest River things, what they've always done is they've just been really big on drawers. They're full extension drawer glides with double face fronts, and they're just self-locking. So there's none of this pulling and wrestling with them to come open. These actually have, in all Sunseekers, there's just a ton of storage. So one big thing with Forest River is the amount of storage that they do. I mean, just in this kitchen area alone, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 8 or 9 drawers in here. It's actually a really big deal. We've got $400,000 or $500,000 motorhomes that don't have half the amount of drawer space. So I'm guessing that you'll really appreciate the storage that Forest River does. It's actually a big deal. That interior height, where you're going to see the biggest advantage here is here. You're going to get extra storage. Having that 7-foot interior height gives you a significant more room in your cabinets, and it also puts a shelf in here. So you can actually store a lot more. In addition to that, most of the Class Cs out there, and I know I speak of the Coachman a lot because it's similar in price point, but most of them just do not have this upgraded high-end cabinetry. Most of them are flat panels. This really helps when it comes to resale value. Again, 7-foot interior height gives you significantly more storage in your cabinets. And just to recap a little bit here, on the exterior, some really unique features. You've got that fiberglass roof, which is a big deal, a feature that you'd find on $300,000 motorhomes. You've got gel coat exterior, also a feature that you'd find on a couple $100,000 motorhomes. Michelin tires and Michelin spare tire, rim, and carrier as well. It's all standard. So really, really unique stuff with the Sunseeker. Also, this particular model happens to have the U-shaped dinette, but even with the U-shaped dinette, you're going to have extra cup holders, which is really a big deal because riding down the road, you know, where do you put a soft drink? Here you have the ability to put them on the corners, and you also have them over your sofa. Central ducted air is actually also a standard feature here, but you've got closable air ducts, which is kind of neat. So if one person wanted a different temperature in the room, you can open or close these, which are great. So the overall, the Sunseeker just has a lot of differences between some of the others out there, and that's what makes these differences are what makes it the #1 selling Class C out there. It's not only the pricing, but it's the value. It's what you get for that pricing. So there's just so much to it. And I'll show you a couple of more things in the back here. Glass shower door is a standard feature. You know, most Class Cs you're going to see some sort of curtain or plastic type of setup. This actually has, you know, a glass shower door, so that's actually a really big deal. Interiors, on all of the Class Cs, we use a little bit higher end of a mattress, which is great. Just a little bit more comfortable. And again, Forest River, one of the big things about them is the storage. And I could say that in this particular motorhome, I think we had 8 or 10 drawers up there. I mean, here you've got 3, 4, 5, so there's probably 15, 16 drawers in this particular Class C, so that's actually a big deal. Okay, and then into the bathroom area, just wanted to show you some neat things in the bathroom. What's unique about all the Sunseeker bathrooms is they put some counter space in there. There's some counter space to put your stuff. I mean, all bathrooms and RVs are a little tight, but to have that little bit of extra counter space is great. And also, this is a porcelain toilet with a foot flush. Is really, really high end. And again, your medicine cabinets are actually oversized medicine cabinets. They're significantly larger than you would expect to see. So, really extra large wooden medicine cabinet. In addition to that, there's also heat and air conditioning in your bathroom, which most Class Cs just don't have that at all. You notice an air conditioning duct up here and a heat duct down here, so that's going to continue to be very comfortable. And just to kind of sum it all up for you, again, it's the #1 selling Class C in the country, so significantly different than most. To have that that associated with your name as the #1 selling Class C in the country, you got to have some significant differences, and there really are. Fiberglass roof is a really big deal. Almost nobody's doing that. You have a fiberglass front cap, which is a really big deal for longevity and durability. You also have little things like having your Michelin spare tire, rim, and carrier. I mean, those are really things that you're going to want to look at if you're considering purchasing a Class C. Best thing about, on top of all that, is its pricing. They are just absolutely priced awesome, and normally we have a significant amount of stock, so if there's a floor plan that you like, don't hesitate to call our dealerships, and we'd be happy to give you, best pricing right over the phone. I'm Mark Stoll, and I appreciate your time today. Thank you very much.